Nearly 1 million cases flow through Kentucky's courtrooms each year, affecting millions of citizens. Nearly 190,000 of those cases are handled in Jefferson County, which has the state's only true urban court system and is home to some of the busiest circuit, family, and district courts in Kentucky. Most of us will interact with the courts at some point, pursue a small claims case, seek protection from domestic violence, settle an estate, legalize an adoption, or serve on a jury. People also come to the courts to finalize divorces, file civil cases, seek justice in criminal cases, and take care of traffic tickets. We all want to know that the courts are there if we need them, to provide equal treatment to all citizens, regardless of race, gender, religion, ethnicity, or sexual orientation.
Welcome to the Jefferson County Courts. Our trial courts consist of the Circuit Court and the District Court. Jefferson County represents about 17% of the state's population, and we have about the same percentage of the state's court caseload. We are an urban court with a high volume of cases and a court complex that spans 2 city blocks. The Jefferson County Judicial Center and the Hall of Justice house the offices and the courtrooms of our 40 circuit and district judges and the circuit court clerk, all of whom serve Jefferson County. 2 Court of Appeals judges and 1 Supreme Court justice also represent Jefferson County on the state's appellate courts.
The court system has many justice partners who help make the courts work. On any given day, hundreds of people walk through these doors, including sheriffs, prosecutors, defense attorneys, special advocates, law enforcement officers, social services, and you, the public. So what happens in the Judicial Center every day? Who is here and what are they doing? And more importantly, how do you navigate this bustling complex of customer service counters, conference rooms, and courtrooms?
The court with the highest volume of cases is District Court. District Court handles juvenile matters, city and county ordinances, traffic offenses, misdemeanors, small claims cases, probate, arraignments, felony probable cause hearings, and civil cases involving $5,000 or less. District Court cases are appealed to Circuit Court. The 17 district judges in Jefferson County are elected for 4-year terms. The district courtrooms are on the 3 floors of the Hall of Justice at 6th Street and Jefferson.
Circuit Court is the trial court of general jurisdiction. Circuit Court handles the most serious cases. Circuit judges preside over all felonies, which are crimes punishable from 1 year in prison to the death penalty, from minor drug possession to multiple murders. Circuit judges also preside monthly over the grand jury, which issues felony indictments or formal charging documents. In addition to handling criminal cases with fundamental issues of freedom and liberty, circuit judges also handle complex civil litigation in which more than $5,000 is at issue. These cases range from motor vehicle accidents to medical malpractice and wrongful death, from contract breaches to civil rights litigation. Circuit judges also preside over contested home foreclosures. Unlike district court juries of 6, circuit court petit juries consist of 12 randomly selected citizens. Each Jefferson County circuit judge has a docket of approximately 1,000 cases. There are 13 circuit judges in Jefferson County. We are all nonpartisan elected officials with 8-year terms. The 13 circuit judges elected me to serve as their chief circuit judge.
For that reason, family court manages cases differently from the other trial courts. Under the one family, one judge, one court approach, cases are presented in a single court, allowing the same judge to hear all matters involving a particular family. This reduces the stress that can arise when individuals are shuttled between courts to resolve a variety of issues. Family court is a division of circuit court. It hears only cases involving families and children, and its jurisdiction includes dissolution of marriage, spousal support and division of property, child support and visitation, paternity, adoption, domestic violence, dependency, neglect, and abuse of children, termination of parental rights, and runaways and truancy. Jefferson County has 10 circuit judges who sit in family court. They're elected for 8-year terms. Some family court cases are confidential, and these courtrooms and court files are not open to the public.
District court judges also preside over specialty courts. We have a veterans court, a drug court, teen court, truancy court, and a juvenile reentry court. Not everything that takes place in the courthouse actually occurs in the courtroom itself. Most cases that come before district court judges are resolved by agreement and do not go to trial. And those that are resolved by agreement are done so by the prosecutor and the defense attorney speaking in a conference and conferencing also with witnesses, police officers who are involved, reaching an agreement, and then bringing that agreement to the judge for the judge's approval.
The circuit court clerk is responsible for managing the records of the circuit and district courts. Circuit court clerks receive lawsuits and court documents, are present during trials, receive money due the courts, handle bond money, pay money to required parties and to the state, record legal documents, provide legal documents and other legal materials, administer oaths, handle affidavits.
One of the ways you may serve your community is by sitting as a juror. Americans have the right to a trial by a jury of their peers, and your participation as a juror guarantees that this important democratic process continues. A jury is a cross-section of the community. The court system strives to secure jury pools that represent the population. Jurors must be at least 18, a U.S. citizen, and a resident of Jefferson County. They must speak and understand English, not have been convicted of a felony unless pardoned, not be currently under indictment, and not have been on a jury in the last 24 months. Jury and court administration are located on the second floor of the Judicial Center. They help orientate jurors and manage the jury pool to ensure that the cases going to trial have a sufficient number of jurors to draw from. We appreciate the time that citizens sacrifice to perform this vital duty.
People are scheduled to appear before certain courts. If you need help finding where to go, you can check the docket boards in the lobby of the first floor of the Hall of Justice. And if you cannot find your name and case there, you can ask for help at the information desk or with the circuit clerk's concierge. The clerk's office will provide the best information regarding your case. A pedway connects the Hall of Justice, which houses district and the office of the circuit court clerk, to the Judicial Center, which houses circuit and family courts, as well as the jury pool and court administration. When parties in a case would like to avoid going to court for a decision by a judge, often they can choose mediation to resolve their disputes. This gives them more control over the outcome of their case. In mediation, parties meet with a neutral third person who is a trained mediator or a retired judge. The mediator helps the parties come to a mutual agreement on how to settle their dispute.
The Jefferson County courts are here to provide equal access to justice for all under the law. We hope your experience with our court system is a positive one.
Hello, I'm David Nicholson, your Jefferson County Circuit Court Clerk. Thank you for joining us today. Today's program will feature the Jefferson County Circuit Court Clerk's Office. In Part 1, we will take you on a short but informative visit to the Jefferson County Court Complex, the nerve center of the judicial system, home to the largest court system in the Commonwealth of Kentucky, and where the offices of the Jefferson County Circuit Court Clerk are located. In Part 3 of today's program, we will visit the offices of the Trust for Life and hear about the Kentucky statewide organ donor awareness program. But first, what is a circuit court clerk and what do they do? Circuit court clerks are elected in all 120 Kentucky counties and are a part of the judicial branch of state government called the Kentucky Court of Justice. Circuit clerks are responsible for managing court records for the state's circuit, family, and district courts. Jefferson County has the largest circuit court clerk's office in Kentucky and provides courtroom support to 40 elected judges. Each year, our office manages the flow of over 200,000 new court cases. With me today is Danielle Jones, a member of our administrative team. Danielle will join us on our tour today.
Thank you, David. Welcome to the Louis D. Brandeis Hall of Justice, one of the 2 court buildings here in the downtown court complex. The Hall of Justice is where District Court is located. District Court is often called the People's Court because most individuals having business before the court will visit this building. Next door to the Hall of Justice, just to our west, is the Judicial Center, the other court building in the complex. The Judicial Center is where the Circuit Court and Family Courts are located.
Circuit Court Clerk has 16 departments located in these 2 buildings and 280 deputy clerks who keep these departments operating. Let's take a look around. We are inside the Hall of Justice, one of the most visited buildings in the state of Kentucky. Thousands of citizens visit the Hall of Justice every week. The District Court is a court of limited jurisdiction and houses both criminal and civil matters. District Court is devoted to matters involving juvenile public offenses, city and county ordinances, misdemeanors, violations, traffic offenses, uncontested probate matters, arraignment, felony probable cause hearings, small claims involving $2,500 or less, civil cases involving $5,000 or less, voluntary and involuntary mental commitments, adult guardianship, and cases relating to criminal domestic violence and abuse.
The District Court is where the majority of people having business before the court will appear. There is an average of 150,000 new District Court cases filed each year.
The Circuit Court Clerk operates 6 District Court departments: criminal traffic, expungements, civil district small claims, probate, guardianship and mental inquests, juvenile, and non-support.
Just behind us is our criminal traffic department, the heartbeat of the Hall of Justice. Our criminal traffic department manages active district court criminal files. It is also where persons can post bond, reschedule a court case, pay a traffic citation, show proof of insurance, and pay court fees and fines.
The Criminal Traffic Department is also where our call center is located. The call center takes payments over the phone and answers questions about court dates and times. Also, traffic fines and costs can now be paid online. To make a payment online, remember, you must make your payment at least 3 days prior to your scheduled court date.
To pay by phone, call 502-595-3060 or 866-396-1751. To pay online, go to courts.ky.gov.
Our next stop will be the Jefferson County Domestic Violence Intake Center. Danielle and I are standing in front of the new consolidated Jefferson County Domestic Violence Intake Center. The Intake Center provides legal services and advocacy to victims of domestic violence, including petitions for emergency protection, called EPOs.
The Jefferson County Domestic Violence Intake Center is the only dedicated one-stop domestic violence center in Kentucky. The county attorney's office also has staff located in the center for those victims wishing to pursue criminal charges.
What is domestic violence? Domestic violence is the occurrence or pattern of abusive behavior between family members or members of an unmarried couple who have a child in common. The abuse can be physical, psychological, sexual, verbal, and emotional. Domestic violence occurs throughout our community and can affect families and relationships regardless of age, race, economic status, religion, or education. What is an emergency protective order? An emergency protective order, known as an EPO, is a court order intended to stop domestic violence by placing restrictions on a respondent's actions. This is a short-term, temporary order that stays in place for approximately 14 days, at which time a hearing will be held to decide whether to issue a long-term order called a domestic violence order or a DVO.
The Domestic Violence Intake Center is located on the first floor of the Hall of Justice and is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It is jointly operated by the Circuit Court Clerk, the County Attorney, and the Jefferson County Sheriff's Department.
The Jefferson County Domestic Violence Intake Center promotes better access to legal information and advocacy. The center is located on the first floor of the Louis D. Brandeis Hall of Justice. The Domestic Violence Intake Center is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
We have now concluded our tour of the District Court and the Hall of Justice. Let's walk across the second floor pedway to the Judicial Center, where Circuit Court and Family Court are located. We are now on the third floor of the Jefferson County Judicial Center, where Circuit Court is located. The Circuit Court is the court of general jurisdiction and hears both civil and criminal matters.
We are standing in front of the Circuit Civil Division.
The Circuit Civil Division hears civil cases involving general litigation matters of more than $5,000, land disputes, foreclosures, contested probate matters, civil appeals from district court, and administrative agencies.
Directly adjacent to the Circuit Civil Division is the Circuit Criminal Division.
The Circuit Criminal Division hears cases involving capital offenses, felonies, flagrant non-support, criminal appeals from district court.
We have one last stop, Family Court. Danielle and I are standing in front of the Family Court Division. Family Court hears matters involving families and children. Jefferson County's Family Court is considered a national model for one family, one judge, one court approach. This approach allows the same judge to hear all matters involving a particular family.
Family Court hears matters involving divorce, child custody, support and visitation, paternity and adoption, domestic violence, child dependency, neglect and abuse, termination of parental rights, and status offenses.
For part 3 of today's program, we are at the Cozier Charities campus on Eastern Parkway, where the Circuit Court Clerk's Trust for Life offices are located. With me today is our Trust for Life Executive Director, Shelley Snyder. Thank you for hosting us today, Shelley.
It's a pleasure to have you all here today, David.
We just visited the Bowmanville Driver's License Branch and briefly explained to our viewers how easy it is to become an organ donor. We mentioned the Trust for Life and the Kentucky Organ Donor Registry. Please share with our viewers what the Trust for Life is and what it exactly does.
The Kentucky Circuit Court Clerk's Trust for Life is a nonprofit organization dedicated to raising awareness and educating all Kentuckians about the importance of becoming a registered organ, tissue, and cornea donor. And the reason this is so important, especially here in Kentucky, is because there's over 120,000 children and adults waiting for a life-saving organ transplant. So a kidney transplant, a heart transplant, a lung transplant. And people are truly in need. Over 900 Kentuckians wait for their call that their organ transplant is going to happen. And unfortunately, it doesn't always happen, so we've got to get the word out. Our organization is here to answer people's questions about what organ donation is and how to join the Kentucky Organ Donor Registry.
How was the Trust for Life founded?
Kentucky Circuit Court Clerks Trust for Life was founded in 1992. And actually, it was because there was a circuit court clerk in Clark County, Kentucky, who lost a close loved one waiting for a heart transplant. And when he saw his loved one's widow and two young sons growing up without a dad, he knew that was wrong and that there was truly a senseless tragedy, that people were losing their life waiting for an organ transplant. So when he got together with his fellow circuit clerks, they decided, as the Kentucky Association of Circuit Court Clerks, that they would try to do something about this to help their community members in need. And so they got together and helped pass through the General Assembly that out of everyone getting a driver's license or a state ID, they would ask if each Kentuckian would like to donate $1 to raise awareness about organ donation. And dollar by dollar, that has added up over the years in every county and every circuit clerk's office. And all of those dollars together are put into a trust, and the circuit clerks called it their Trust for Life.
What exactly is the Kentucky Organ Donor Registry?
That's a great question, David. The Kentucky Organ Donor Registry is a confidential list of people who would like to save and heal and help other people after they're gone. And a lot of people don't realize how important it is to join the registry. Yet when people do join the registry, it can truly save and heal people's lives. Every organ donor can save up to 8 lives, and a tissue and cornea donor can help more than 100 people. So it's truly an amazing thing to consider yourself willing to help people after you're gone. It's so easy to join the Kentucky Organ Donor Registry, and it truly gives hope to thousands and thousands of people in need of life-saving transplants. And something that I think a lot of people don't know is actually how rare it is that anyone can become an organ donor. So joining the registry is simply saying, if I could save a life after I'm gone, I'm willing to do it. And you can join the registry when you visit David's office and get your driver's license. All it takes is a yes. Or you can go online to donatelifeky.org or call our office and we can help you through it.
So it is not necessary to sign the back of a driver's license?
No, you don't have to sign the back of your license anymore or have an orange dot. If you'd like, you can get a little blue heart on your license stating that you are a registered organ donor.
Can you tell me how much money has the Trust for Life raised?
Since 1992, like you said, dollar by dollar, county by county, more than $8 million has been raised by the circuit court clerks and their deputy clerks, thanks to communities all over who have donated that dollar to raise awareness about organ donation. And also, their questions about adding names to the Kentucky Organ Donor Registry has made such an impact in Kentucky. Without the circuit clerks and their deputies asking every Kentuckian about joining the registry, we may not have 20,000 people on the registry. But because they ask and because of the great awareness that they've raised, over 1.4 million Kentuckians are registered organ donors.
I do have to ask the question, though. I'm sure so many of our residents throughout the Commonwealth are concerned that that dollar goes back to the Commonwealth of Kentucky's general fund. Where does that $1 go?
That's a great question, David. And the dollars do not go back to the state. Every dollar is donated to the Kentucky Circuit Court Clerks Trust for Life, and we are a completely separate 501c3. We do not receive funding from the state or federal government at all. We're a nonprofit charity, and with all of those dollars, we're able to shout it from the rooftops that organ donation truly saves lives. And we're able to answer questions. We speak in a lot of high schools, churches, civic clubs. David, you and I spoke at the Linden Area Business Association not too long ago. And it's really just about getting the conversation started. And when you talk about the children that are in need of life-saving transplants and the moms and dads and grandmas and grandpas that are waiting for a transplant, people have questions, and it's great to get out there and speak publicly and be available to answer those questions.
One of the Trust for Life's most committed partners is the Cozair Charities. What is it about the Trust for Life's mission that connects with Cozair Charities?
Cozair Charities is an amazing organization that has helped so many children throughout our Commonwealth and continues to. And one of the main connections between the Kentucky Circuit Court Clerk's Trust for Life and Cozair Charities is the need of children throughout our state and throughout the country who are waiting for life-saving organ transplants. And Cozair Charities understands how important it is to get the message out about organ donation and encourage everyone to be a registered organ donor to help save the lives of children throughout Kentucky.
Remember, you do not have to wait to renew your driver's license or personal ID card to join the registry. You can join today by going online to donatelifeky.org or call the Trust for Life offices at 1-866-945-5433. That wraps up today's program. We hope you have learned something new about the Office of the Circuit Court Clerk and the Kentucky Circuit Court Clerk's Trust for Life. On behalf of Danielle, Becky, and Shelley, thank you for joining us today, and don't forget to add your name to the Kentucky Organ Donor Registry.